A long time ago, there was a small, close-knit community tucked away in the heart of a dense forest. The community was called Fernwood. The people of Fernwood lived away from the complexity of modern civilization. They were self-sufficient and lived simple lives. However, there was an ominous presence lurking in the shadows of this idyllic community. One day, a young girl named Emily disappeared. Her parents and the entire Fernwood community searched relentlessly for her, hoping to find her safe. But the search was in vain. As the days went by, more and more children disappeared, vanishing without a trace. The town sheriff, a tough veteran of law enforcement, was at a loss as to who or what was responsible for the kidnappings. The townsfolk began to turn on each other, suspecting their neighbors and locking their doors at night. One night, a young boy by the name of Tommy found himself bound and gagged, trapped in a dark, damp cellar. He could hear footsteps approaching from afar, and his heart raced with fear. The door creaked open, and a figure emerged from the darkness. It was a man, dressed in tattered clothes and wearing a hood to obscure his face. The man began to torture Tommy, inflicting unspeakable pain upon him. He cackled with glee as the boy screamed, relishing in the terror he was causing. Tommy tried to scream for help, but his cries were muted by the gag in his mouth. Weeks turned into months, and the town was gripped by terror. Parents kept their children indoors, and the once friendly community became a place of suspicion and paranoia. The sheriff was no closer to finding the kidnapper, and the townsfolk were losing hope. One day, a group of teenagers stumbled upon a hidden cabin deep in the forest. Inside, they found evidence of the kidnappings, children's clothes, restraints, and torture devices. They also discovered a diary, filled with the ramblings of a madman who reveled in the pain and suffering of others. The teenagers brought the diary to the sheriff, who used it to track down the kidnapper. The kidnapper was a recluse, who had been living in the forest for years, driven to madness by a traumatic event in his past. He had been kidnapping and torturing children for years, using them as playthings to satisfy his sick desires. The Fernwood community was shaken by what had been happening within their community. They vowed to never let it happen again, and the community slowly began to heal. But the memory of the kidnappings remained, a dark stain on Fernwood's history that could never be erased.